is joy. Are you guys bored during quarantine? Have you done everything you could ever possibly do and still have time? Well, today, I'm going to show you lots of fun things that you can do. You can organize your hand sanitizers. You can make your bed. You can vacuum your room. You can have a Zoom call with friends. Speaking of Zoom calls, you guys should join our Zoom call on Tuesday nights at 6 with Mr. Allen, Miss Tracy, Mr. Brian, and Miss Vicki. They are leading a fantastic Bible study. And so, yeah, I hope you guys can join. You can eat lots of food. You can online shop. You can deliver a pizza. Speaking of pizza, one of you is about to get pizza. Isn't that so awesome? So as soon as you get your pizza, put it in the chat box and let us know that you got it.
E. This is a G. This is the A minor.
You can learn a new skill. You can eat more food. You can have a dance party. You can drink lots of coffee. Oh.
Here's the thing, we started out right again. It was cool.
Ready?
Yeah, yeah. Since you were gone.
Hi friends, Bailey here. So for our first song, Still God, it basically just talks about how even though we may be going through tough circumstances, it's not the end of the world because God is still with us and He's still caring for us and He's still working everything out for the good of those who love Him. So I have a verse to go along with that, and it is Psalm 46 verses 1 through 2. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Until the storm has ceased, your voice will rise above the seas. We will not fear, you are still God. Here in the water's deep, your hand will always be beneath. We will not fear, you are still God. Forever you will be exalted. worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We'll live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none besides you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none besides you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. I will build my life upon your love. It's a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in your love, and I will not be shaken. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none besides you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me.
The 1st and 2nd Samuel. They're two separate books in our modern Bibles, but that division is due simply to scroll length. It was originally written as one coherent story. We're just going to cover the book of 1 Samuel in this video. So after Israel was rescued from slavery in Egypt, they made a covenant with God at Mount Sinai and eventually came into the Promised Land. And there, Israel was supposed to be faithful to God and obey the covenant commands. Before the book of Samuel, Judges showed how Israel failed at that task big time. It was a period of moral chaos, and it showed Israel's need for wise, faithful leaders. The book of Samuel provides an answer to that need. The book of Samuel's story focuses on three main characters: the prophet Samuel, where the book gets its name, and then King Saul, and after that, King David. And all three of them transitioned Israel from a group of tribes ruled by judges into a unified kingdom ruled by King David in Jerusalem. And the book of Samuel has a fascinating design that weaves the story of these three characters together in four main parts. Samuel, he's the key leader and prophet in the first section of the book, but then he also plays a key role in the next section, which is Saul's story, and it's told in two movements: Saul's rise to power and then his failures. And the second part is about his downfall and his tragic death. And then the drama of Saul's demise is matched by David's exciting rise to power. And then David's story is told in two movements. First, he rides the wave of his success, followed by his own tragic failure and the slow self-destruction of his family and then his kingdom. The book concludes with an epilogue that reflects back over the whole story. So let's dive in and see how this all unfolds. Part 1 picks up from the chaos of the book of Judges, and we're introduced to a touching story about a woman named Hannah. And she's grieved because she has never been able to have children. And by God's grace, she finally has a son named Samuel. And in joy, she sings this amazing poem in chapter 2. And the poem is all about how God opposes the proud and exalts the humble, about how despite tragedies and human evil, God is working out his purposes in history. And also it's about how God will one day raise up an anointed king for his people. Now, Hannah's poem has been placed here at the beginning of the book to introduce these key themes that we're going to see throughout the whole story, like the next one. Samuel grows up and becomes a great prophet and leader for the people of Israel, at the same time that the Philistines rise to power as Israel's arch nemesis. And in this crucial battle, the Israelites get arrogant, and instead of praying and asking God for help, they trot out the Ark of the Covenant as this kind of magic trophy that will automatically grant them victory in battle. And so because of their arrogant presumption, God allows Israel to lose the battle, and the Ark is stolen. So the Philistines, they take the ark and they place it in the temple of their god, Dagon. And then the God of Israel defeats the Philistines and the god Dagon without an army by sending plagues on the people. And then the Philistines don't want the ark anymore, obviously, and they send it back to Israel. And the point of this little story seems to be this: God is not Israel's trophy, and he opposes pride among the Philistines, but also among his own people. And so Israel needs to remain humble and obedient if they want to experience God's covenant blessing, which opens up into the next large section. The Israelites come to Samuel and they say, "Hey, we want a king like all the other nations have. Go find one for us." And so Samuel, he's kind of ticked off and he goes to consult with God. And God says, yes, their motives are all wrong, but if a king is what they want, give them one. And so we're introduced to the figure of Saul. Now, Saul is a tragic figure because he begins full of promise. He's tall, he's good-looking, he's a perfect candidate for a king. But he has deep character flaws. He's dishonest, he lacks integrity, and he seems incapable of acknowledging his own mistakes. And so these flaws become his downfall. He wins some battles at the beginning, but his flaws run so deep, he eventually disqualifies himself by blatantly disobeying God's commands. And so the aging Samuel confronts Saul and Israel. He had warned the people that they would only benefit from a king who's humble and faithful to God. Otherwise, the kings of Israel will bring ruin. So he informs Saul that God is going to raise up a new king to replace him. And so Saul's downfall begins, as God at the same time is working behind the scenes to raise up that new king. It's an insignificant shepherd boy named David. He's the least likely candidate to be king, but the famous story of David and Goliath shows that God's choice of David is not based on his family status, but simply on his radical and humble trust in the God of Israel. And so this story embodies all of the themes of Hannah's poem. Proud Saul and Goliath are brought low, while humble David is exalted. From here, we watch Saul slowly descend into madness, while David rises to power. So David starts working for Saul as a general, and he's winning all of the battles, and he's also winning all of the fame. And so Saul gets jealous, and he starts chasing David around, hunting him, trying to kill him. David's done nothing wrong, and so David simply runs and waits in the wilderness. And here we see David's true character. He has multiple opportunities to kill Saul, but he doesn't. He simply trusts that despite Saul's evil, God will raise up a king for his people. What's interesting, too, is that many of the poems of David that you find in the book of Psalms are linked to this very period of his life, and they all express the same attitude of trust. And so this section of the book ends with Saul coming to a grisly death after losing a battle with the Philistines. 1 Samuel tells some of the most intricate, well-told stories you find anywhere in the Bible, and the characters Saul and David, they're portrayed very realistically. And the author's putting them forward as character studies so that you can find yourself in them. So in Saul's story, we see a warning. It's crucial that we reflect on our own character flaws and how they harm us and other people. And with God's help, we need to humble ourselves and deal with our dark side so that Saul's story doesn't become ours. David, on the other hand, is presented as an example of patience and trust in God's timing in our lives. And so he's running in the wilderness, being chased by Saul. David had every reason to think that God had abandoned him, but that's not what he thinks. And so David's story encourages us to trust that despite human evil, God is working out his purposes to oppose the proud and to exalt the humble. And that's what 1 Samuel is all about.
Good evening. Man, I hope you're excited. We're going to jump into a brand new series this evening. For the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about this concept of King of Hearts, about our Father, who is our King, or desires to be the King of your heart. I hope you watched a video a minute ago that talked about the background of the book of 1 Samuel, the plot, the characters, and if you didn't, after the service, go back and watch it. It's not that long. It gives you just a good description of the background knowledge you kind of need to be able to help you follow along with these stories. So as we get into this, I'm going to use these next few weeks to discuss through an Old Testament king how God desires to be the king of our hearts. So this Old Testament king is somebody who's pretty powerful, pretty popular. You've all heard of him. It's King Saul. Yes, King Saul. I'm sure you guessed it's King Saul. So yeah, for real though, for the next few weeks we're going to be talking about King Saul. And if you saw the video just a second ago, you saw a lot about King Saul and how he just had a lot of issues, had a lot of problem with allowing God to be the king of his heart. So we're going to discuss that. I hope you're excited. I'm excited to learn more about him because it seems like King David, that's all we seem to talk about. Let's talk about Saul. All right? Why not? So we're going to dive head first into the Old Testament right now. The Old Testament, it's exciting. Sometimes it's difficult to read because it's hard to understand because it's so many different cultures removed from ours. But the Old Testament is full of all these, it's full of action, scandals and suspense and plot twists. And then we get to the story of King Saul, and it has all of that. You know, some of us may be pretty familiar with the Old Testament, and others of us, we just may not be all that familiar with it. But again, the Old Testament is full of all these just incredible, captivating, and the most outrageous stories ever told, truly. It begins with the early looks into the stages of God's relationship with humanity. And then after the Garden of Eden, after the flood, God chose to redeem the whole world from its sinful state by choosing the lowliest, the most unappreciated, the most unnoticed group of people, the Israelites. And he chose these people to bring light into a dark world. And then ultimately, Jesus is going to come into the world through this group of people. And the fact that Jesus would come from Israel makes this group unique. Yet that's not the only thing that makes this group unique. Israel is also unique in the Old Testament because they are ruled by God and they put their faith in God. This is a stark contrast to all the other people groups surrounding Israel, because they follow gods that were made out of sticks and stones and gold and mud or animals. God did incredible things through the people of Israel, and as a result, Israel made God famous throughout the whole world. So again, God did incredible things through the people of Israel, and Israel made God popular throughout the whole world. Does this sound familiar? Because as followers of Christ, we are saved and made to be unique. So rather than worship the gods of this world, like maybe the god of metal, and maybe your phone, maybe the god of leather, that could represent sports, the god of paper, money, maybe the god of fabric, though your clothes, any other idol, popularity, security, comfort in this world, any other thing, we were made not for those things. We were not saved for those things. We were made to let God work through us and then we make God famous in this world. So from the Old Testament to the New Testament to our current lives now, we definitely have different cultures and differences about us, but we have this common principle. Yet, with that common principle about letting God work through us and making God famous throughout the world, we also have a common problem. And that is this, that we would rather worship what we see than what we believe. Israel was surrounded by other nations who served other gods, and other nations had human beings who served as their kings and as their rulers, rather than letting God be their king. So as a result, Israel could only go so long until they wanted what they saw everybody else having. For example, if all of your friends are dating someone, kind of makes you want to date someone. If all of your friends have smartphones, you kind of want a smartphone. Unless you're cool enough to still be rocking the old flip phone. We see what we see, and we want what we want. And often, we want what we see. Israel wanted a king. There's a reason for that, because Israel had a problem. They were concerned about their future leadership. So let's talk about their leadership problems, and let's talk about their leadership structure so we can understand what was going on during that time. So in the Old Testament, the people of Israel would hear from God through the voice of the prophets. And during this time of the story that we're about to read, the prophet was Samuel. Samuel was the voice of God. There was no Bible. There was no, go spend 20 minutes with God reading your word. No, if you wanted to hear the voice of God, you went to Samuel. And you would ask Samuel questions. So for a time, the people of Israel were fine with this system. But like anyone else, they began to want what other people had. And the grass always seems greener on the other side, right? So Israel has now a legitimate problem. Samuel is getting old. Not only is he getting old, but his two sons, who would presumably take his place, they're idiots. They're known for their greed and their bribery. These two guys were not the kind of people you would want to have the position of the voice of God. No, not at all. So they had a legitimate problem. So let's look at 1 Samuel chapter 8. 1 Samuel chapter 8. We're going to start reading a couple verses here, in verses 4 and 5. So in response to their problem, this is what they did. All the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel at Ramah. They said to him, "You are old, and your sons do not follow your ways. Now appoint a king to lead us, such as all the other nations have." So the problem is not really what the people are asking for. The problem is the reason they are asking for it. Because they see what everyone else has around them, and that's what they want. They see what they want, and they want what they see. The problem is rooted in their hearts. They want to put their trust in someone rather than God. And God is no fool. He knows our motives. In the New Testament, John, he wrote in 1 John 3:20 that God is greater than our hearts and He knows everything. This is what God tells Samuel about the people's response. He says, the people have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from being king over them. God's basically saying, listen, Samuel, this isn't because you're the worst prophet in the world or there is something wrong with our structure. This is because the people want to trust someone else. They're not just looking for a king. They're looking for someone else to be the king of their hearts. And the fact that the people were looking for another king of their hearts absolutely breaks God's heart. Because the people do not know what they are asking for. Because sometimes the worst thing that could happen to us is if God gives us what we want. Because have you ever asked for something really dumb? Like you look back now and you're thinking, man, I was praying the wrong prayer. So I'll give you this example. Have you ever heard the Garth Brooks song, Unanswered Prayer? He does refer to God, and the song is The Man Upstairs, which I have a problem with. I'm sure you do too. But so other than that though, well, first off, I got to go on my soapbox for a minute. I have a public service announcement for all of you listening. It goes like this. Don't listen to country music. It's awful. I don't care if your friends, if your parents, I don't care who's listening to it. Your sweet old grandma listening to country music. It's just awful. Don't give up on life yet. There's better music out there. There's better things in life than country music. I can't stand idly by and watch you throw away your life and listen to subpar music. It's just awful. I'm not even talking about just the content. Although that's awful too most of the time. It's just a whole genre just needs to be gone. It just needs to be done away with. Make better choices in life. Don't listen to country music. Thank you. So I'm sure many of you are probably going to want to at me because of that. But you're entitled to your opinion. If you like country music, that is your opinion. But if I agreed with you, then we'd both be wrong. But I love you. So back to Garth Brooks' song, Unanswered Prayer. He makes a great point though, because he says in the song that some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. So thank God for unanswered prayers. Because there have been times in my life where I've prayed hard, like, God, I really want this. Please give it to me. But ultimately, it would have been very bad. It would have been very unhealthy. Like, for example, I was like, God, please, let me date this girl. I want it so bad. And God knew better. He knew that would not be healthy for me or not be healthy for her. So He protected us from that bad decision. God knew what He was doing. So thank God for unanswered prayer. Sometimes, though, it's hard to trust God's plan for us that's better than what we can see. Because sometimes we need to look very hard at all the warning signals concerning a potentially bad decision. For example, with Israel, God warns them very clearly that what they're asking for, that they're asking for a king, it will come with a price. So let's listen to what the price for a king will be. I mean, and even after reading this, you would think most people would be like, you know what, we're good, we don't need that. I'm just going to read it. So in verses 11 through 17 of chapter 8, God said, "This is what the king who will reign over you will claim as his rights. He will take your sons and make them serve with his chariots and horses, and they will run in front of his chariots. Some he will assign to be commanders of thousands and commanders of 50s, and others to plow his ground and reap his harvest, and still others to make weapons of war and equipment for his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers and cooks and bakers. He will take the best of your fields and vineyards and olive groves and give them to his attendants. He will take a tenth of your grain and of your vintage and give it to his officials and attendants. Your male and female servants and the best of your cattle and donkeys he will take for his own use. He will take a tenth of your flocks, and you yourselves will become his slaves. I mean, just look at the amount of times that God uses the word take. All the things that getting a king will take away from them. Because we fall into this trap of believing that when we get what we want, that it's going to give us life. But often these things actually take away from us. Think about it like this. Think about what your friends are doing. And, you think that it's going to give you life if you do what they do. But it's going to take away from you. You think, well, if I engage sexually with someone, that will give life. That will give life to each other, to our relationship, but it ends up taking away from you and taking life away from you. You keep thinking like, maybe if I become just like engrossed with social media, it will give and I'll become more and more, but it takes from you. It hurts your soul. It keeps taking and taking from you, because the problem is that we often don't look at the warning signs and of all these things, because we see what we see and we want what we want, and we want what we see. So sometimes one of the worst things that could happen is that God actually gives us what we want. So here in this story, God gives the people what they wanted, and the people are going to get their king. So there we are introduced to Saul. And the story of Saul, the King Saul, is such an interesting one. You can read all about that in 1 Samuel chapters 9 and 10. Because Saul, he essentially just goes out to look for some lost donkeys. He bumps into Samuel, and he comes back a king. It's crazy. But the people, they fall in love with Saul. I mean, he wins the People's Choice Award immediately. He's tall, strong, handsome, and he turns out to be heck of a military guy. They love Saul. And quickly, Samuel, he just becomes old news. I mean, Samuel had served the people so faithfully for so long, and they just, we want Saul. However, Samuel, he's not done. He has something else he wants to say. Before he's done, he has one more speech he wants to give. So the people are throwing Samuel his retirement party. You can read about this in chapter 12. Samuel has one last speech to give, and it's a good one. Samuel just goes on and reminding the people of how good God has been to them. God has brought so many victories to Israel, and he's rescued them numerous times. God had a right. God had earned the right to be their king. Yet despite God's goodness to Israel, they're asking God for a replacement. And then Samuel brings down thunder on command. I wish I could do that in my speeches, but no, Samuel does it. He brings down thunder. And the Israelites recognize immediately, we done messed up. And they immediately begin to ask God for forgiveness. God, don't kill us. We're sorry. We didn't know what we were doing. Well, they should have. We read those verses of what God said would happen. But anyway, instead of Samuel going back and saying, y'all should have known better. I told you. I gave you the voice of God. I told you what God had to say about it. But he doesn't do that. Because in 1 Samuel 12, verse 20, he says, don't be afraid. Yeah, you have done all this evil, yet don't turn away from the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart. Don't turn away after useless idols. They can do no good, nor can they rescue you, because they are useless. But be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you. So rather than just continue to break down the Israelites because of their stupidity and remind them of all their bad decisions, Samuel offers grace. Even in our bad decisions, God is gracious. And look at that last verse again, or one of those verses again. It says, be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart, and consider what great things he has done for you. It's never too late to give God your heart. Yeah, Israelites, they made some bad decisions. Saul, he's going to make some bad decisions. We're going to talk about that. You and I have made some bad decisions, and we're going to make some more bad decisions. God knows this. He's asking for your heart. No matter your circumstances right now, no matter how heavy, how tired, or how stressed out your heart feels, God is asking for your heart. The good, the bad, the ugly, just to trust Him. So here's, in summary, just a couple things I want us to take away from this passage as we close. And that, number one, things don't end well when we give our heart to someone or something else. There's a verse in Proverbs that says this: above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. You know, if there's someone being ugly, sinful, immoral, they have a heart problem. Everything flows from your heart. And maybe you have been following someone or something else and allowed them to be the king of your heart. And right now, things seem okay. But the thing is, you're living off what you can see right now. But you're going to need someone to be there for you when things are going to happen that you can't see right now. Things are going to happen somewhere. If you live long enough, things are going to happen to you that you don't see right now. And you're going to need someone. You're going to need an all-knowing, all-loving, all-powerful God to be the king of your heart. And then number two, it's never too late to ask God to be the king of your heart. So again, maybe you have allowed someone or something else to be the king of your heart. And maybe you don't know exactly what it means for Jesus to be the king of your heart. But you know He's not the king of your heart right now. Maybe you just feel like your heart is overwhelmed. You're worn out, you're busy, you're broken. It's never too late to ask Jesus, though, to be the king of your heart. Even in our bad decisions, He offers grace. Ask Jesus to take charge of your life. Tell Jesus that you want to follow Him. Ask Jesus to rule your heart. It's never too late to follow Him because He's all about grace. In just a moment, we're going to go to the game portion. I'm going to pray. There's going to be a game. But at the very end, I have a little video I want y'all to see. I know pretty much everybody has always stuck around and watched everything, but there's this video thing I really want you to see because it's kind of a hype video for our God. It gets you excited about our King, about who He is, and it might just set some fire in you. So I hope you'll stick around and watch that with us and just rejoice in Him. Let Him be the king of your heart. So let's pray. Dear Father, we come to you right now and just ask for your grace that you offer so freely. Whether we are believers or non-believers, we need it. Lord, for those of us who have been following you for a while and have given our heart to you, Lord, I pray that we will continue to make you the king of our heart. That we will not trust in the things we see or the things we want. We'll just trust you and you alone. And for those who are non-believers, who are not Christians, who just know, nope, God, Jesus, He's not the king of my heart. I pray that they would trust in Jesus today. They would just pray that Jesus would take charge in their life. They would reach out to somebody. They would talk to their parents. They would talk to me or another pastor or a Sunday school teacher and say, how do I make Jesus the king of my heart? It's just the biggest decision and the most amazing thing, the most powerful thing in anyone's life. So I pray that no one will neglect that. And I pray for the following weeks as we talk about this, we'll learn and we'll grow. And as it said in Scripture, we'll allow these things to protect our hearts and to guard our hearts and to make you the king of it. We love you. I ask all these things in your holy name. Amen. Thanks. All right, good evening. Welcome back, my wife. A trade secret. We are doing this video right after the other video, which was last week this was a week ago for y'all.
Same outfits.
For us, it was only about 5 minutes ago.
Still tastes like Coke.
Yeah, so last week we did the Coke blind taste test, and here's the stuff. Again, for y'all it's a week away, and for us it's only time traveling, it's amazing. Okay, so this week, again, so the reason we're doing this, I'm hopefully going camping right now. I'm out in the woods somewhere, hopefully, right
That's
now.
not raining. That's the big issue with tent camping is it going to rain us out?
Yeah. If it's raining, then I'm back in McCalla still.
You gotta book early enough to get by the bathrooms, and then you risk being flooded.
Yeah, so, oh, you good, you good. All right.
No.
That's 2 rejections. We're gonna keep count, there's 2.
Did I want to kiss you at our wedding? Much less on camera for the entire church to see? No.
It's just the children.
And we had a small wedding. I don't know how many people are watching this mess.
No, just...
Yeah, just for the children. That's who wants to watch you kiss people.
I have a quick game for us to play, trivia game, and then we're also going to do Bean Boozle, Jelly Belly.
We did this at Christmas. It went terrible for him. I ate a lot of toothpaste, which I'm good with. If
Toothpaste is not
God
bad.
sees fit to give me nothing but toothpaste jelly beans again, I'm in. Because Dad about threw up on a fish one and he'd eat anything.
Yeah, Christmas is my first time to truly do this. I thought I had done something like this before, but apparently not, because the disgustingness that is within these jelly beans.
We had a ton of fun doing it though, except for you. Because we thought it was so funny that you kept getting bad jelly beans and the rest of us had real flavors and toothpaste.
I'm beginning to see a pattern here these past few weeks of how this has gone, how I went at Christmas when I did this. I'm always drawing the short end. I mean, getting the most disgusting. Well, Brother John fared worse than me because he
No, he ate Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. I don't know, Brother John.
I'm sorry, Ed was also a part of the pepper challenge, so it's not like you alone did the pepper thing. Don't try to be a martyr on this. You got the short end of the stick, and hopefully you get it again tonight.
We shall see. We'll get to that in a minute. So here's what we're going to do. Here's a trivia game, just for fun, because I have it and I want to use it. It's called Let's Stay Social, but Keep Our Distance, and try to figure out these distances socially.
Okay, yeah,
All right, you ready?
yeah.
How to play. Even though we're all distant from each other.
Clearly.
Well, I mean,
No.
There's 3. Let's socially try and guess these distances.
What?
Let me read it. What is the total distance from Orlando, Florida to Anaheim, California? 2761, 2493, 2107. These are all miles, or D? None of them.
I'm gonna choose B, because if you're taking a standardized test and you don't know the answer, the best answer is B or C, depending on the number of them. And the country's supposed to be like 2,000 miles wide, right?
I'm not smarter than a 5th grader. I will go ahead and say that, so I do not know. But it is B. Good job. All right, so you said B.
That's how I passed the ACT.
Now you are hearing this from a teacher. A 5th grade teacher.
B or C?
All right. So this one you probably could know just from remembering from science class. What is the distance from the Earth to the Sun? 140 kilometers. 384, 400,000.
What's a kilometer?
It's about a little over half a mile.
I mean, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like I know what a half mile is.
698 million kilometers or none of them.
I really don't think I even know what a half mile is, because usually when I've walked a half mile, I feel like I've walked a mile.
It's about 2,600 feet.
I'm gonna go with A because it's big.
149 kilometers.
And I'm trying to think
Here's
how
the
many
deal.
cups you stack on top of each other according to like.
So I think Okay, I could be wrong, but I think the answer in miles is 93 million miles. I could be thinking about the moon. I think it's the distance from the Earth to the sun, 93
So
million.
kilometers more than a mile?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, a mile is longer than a kilometer, but you'll have, I just always remember like this, a 5K is 3.2 miles.
I don't even know that.
It is, you said that, yeah? You
I
did.
said A.
Okay. All right.
So not knowing anything's working out for me so far.
You know some things here.
I don't know this. You know I don't like numbers.
All right. And their hit song from 1988 called I'm Gonna Be, what distance did the Proclaimers say they would walk?
And
100?
I would walk 500 miles.
All right. I'm gonna be the man. All right, 500 miles. I don't even have to look at the answer because I know it's right. You got it right. That was an easy one. Perfect score so far. Yonge Street. Yonge Street in Toronto, Canada is the longest street in the world. What is its total distance?
I don't even understand how this is possible that it still has the word street on it.
1158, 1168, 1178.
So if it's the longest in the world and there's other numbers on, I don't know, maybe that just means other people do this. Go with C, because why not?
She looked at this.
No, I didn't.
She knows my password.
I really don't. If you die, I'm out of luck.
All right, so far you've gotten 4 out of 4, 100% on something you said you don't know the answer to. Well, you do the Proclaimers.
Yeah, I know that one. I'm singing that song to you.
Go ahead.
I'm good. Go. No, keep going.
It's 4 for those who are keeping count. True or false? Miami, Florida is closer to Brazil than it is to Washington State.
Yes, true. True.
All right, that's 5. True. She says true. It is true.
No, because y'all flew out of Miami to get to Brazil. If that was the case, y'all would have flown out of Washington State to get to Brazil.
And I control the airlines. I don't want to tell them what to do. Because I'm a man.
Oh, this hat, it's the end of the day. I need to take it off.
Who holds the world record for long jump with a total distance of 8.95 meters? Carl Lewis, Mike Powell, TJ Gale, Mitchell White. What? Mitchell White. I know a guy named Mitchell Wyatt, so that's why I went that way. Mitchell Wyatt.
Sounds like Carl jumps very far. Mike, does he even run? Let's go with C.
Sounds athletic. C.
Sounds athletic.
AJ Dale.
Oh, turns
Go.
out Mike does run. I haven't personally met Eddie. My dad's a Mike, by the way.
There you go. Now it's revealed. Okay.
How do you even say those?
The Burj Khalifa in Dubai is the tallest building in the world with a total height distance of 828 meters. What is the second tallest building in the world? One World Trade Center in New York City, International Commerce Center in Hong Kong, Shanghai Tower in Shanghai, or the Princess Tower in Dubai.
You can't say A though because it doesn't exist anymore.
No, that's the new one.
Oh, did they make it as big as the last one?
I don't know. I wasn't an engineer.
I hadn't paid attention to this since, we were kids. Let's go with B, Hong Kong, because I feel like they'd like to be taller than Dubai.
I would say.
Even though the answer is probably A.
I think it's probably D. Let me see. Let's see. We are all wrong.
Everybody's wrong.
Shanghai.
Shanghai's building China?
Yeah, man, it's China.
Oh, okay.
I think. It's about there's like these idiots. It's late. I'm pretty sure Shanghai
I'm
is China.
tired. We've done a lot today.
President Xi.
Can you go, read this?
In the 1994 movie Forrest Gump, Forrest
Oh, I don't know. Mama wouldn't let me watch this movie.
had to watch the TV version.
My mother said she wouldn't let me watch anything with naked butts, and so I still haven't seen Forrest Gump.
Well, Forrest Gump goes on a run that lasts 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours. What is the estimated distance that Forrest ran? 19,000, 24 miles, 21,000 average. 24,700 whatever.
Do a C.
Why not? C.
Why not?
It was 19,000. You got 3 wrong now. We're doing so good.
That's so great.
5 in a right.
That movie was 1994?
So that's what it says.
Oh, no wonder she didn't let me see it. I was little.
Why not?
I mean, why would you let your elementary school age child watch Forrest Gump?
You shouldn't. You had a good mom. All right. In 2013, Ashrita Furman
Somebody
set the record for riding a blank underwater for a total distance of 1.3 miles. Unicycle, submersible scooter, tricycle, snowmobile.
But really though, can you call it a submersible scooter? Because if you put any of those underwater, suddenly it's a submersible snowmobile.
Well, maybe they converted and modified the scooter so it would be submersible.
But if I guess that, there won't be to guess that because they've got sub in it. Let's go with a unicycle.
Unicycle. I think you might got it. I got it. You got it. It's a unicycle.
The dark children have some work to do.
Yeah.
Isn't Ashley's kids trying to
Oh.
Is one of them in the odd? One of her boys is like a unicycle
I think
club or
so.
something at school.
I don't know. It's been a while. I hope y'all doing okay.
Put
over
it in
there.
the pool this summer.
Yeah.
See what happens.
See if you can go further 1.3 miles, caveman. All right. What is the distance between a regulation soccer's net goal point? I think I read that wrong. What is the distance between a regulation soccer net's goal post? 7.32 meters, 8 yards, 24 feet, or is it all the above?
How many feet are in a yard?
I'm not telling you.
Can I Google it?
Nope. 5th grade teacher,
The
y'all.
yardstick, it's more than a foot, so 24 feet would not be 8. If it say there's
She does, okay, just to get, she does not like math.
hate it. I have taught reading for 10 years and got thrown in math this year. And
Yeah, so,
all right, I don't like math.
Okay.
C.
You think it's 24 feet?
Yeah, because I think they gotta jump pretty decent.
It's all the same thing. I'll leave it. All right.
Well,
You
I
got-
didn't even see all of the above.
I told
'cause
you.
Another ACT tip, kids. If it says all of the above, always pick all of the above.
No. We will not be sharing ACT scores, but no.
No.
All right, there's 6. All right.
These poor people are gonna want to go to sleep, and both of these games are lasting so long.
I think you want to go to sleep.
There's that. What time is it? You're officially an hour and a half past my bedtime, and it's not a read.
All right. So let me ruin your day. Bamboozle time.
And I know I said I don't drink Coke last week, and I don't, but I have this because I feel like LaCroix is not going to flush out the taste of this.
All right. Just to give y'all a sample, because maybe you don't know what this is about. So here are the choices of what we're going to eat. There are 2 Jelly Bellies jelly beans that look exactly alike. For example, one of them may be stink bug, one of them may be toasted marshmallow. One of them, then there's the other 2, dirty dishwasher or birthday cake. Then here's this one, rotten egg or butter popcorn,
While you're talking, I'm going to get paper towels.
toothpaste or berry blue, peach or barf, chocolate pudding or canned dog food, a juicy pear or booger, coconut or spoiled milk, tutti frutti or stinky socks, or a strawberry banana smoothie, or a dead fish. And let me tell y'all, they did
Dead fish?
an exceptional job of making these things taste exactly how they sound.
You can smell the dead fish without biting into it.
All right, so here we go. Spin our wrong spinner.
And nobody has to swallow anything if they get the wrong one,
Okay, just spin it.
because you just legit can't.
It will.
Ugh, buttered popcorn or rotten egg. And I'd rather die because I don't like either of them.
All right, so here we have, I just picked 2 at random. They look exactly the same. All right, on the count of 3. Who knows, we might both get buttered popcorn.
I don't even like the buttered popcorn.
Well, it's way better than rotten egg.
But we can't smell it.
Go
just
smell
now.
it? No,
Okay.
don't you go smell it. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, yours must have actually been rotten egg. And mine must have been buttered popcorn because I still didn't like it.
Oh, it's just as bad as I remembered.
Mine must be buttered popcorn because
It is still in there.
It didn't taste that bad, but it just didn't taste good.
Guys, I don't know how they do this. This is awful.
Spin again.
I would probably rather have that pepper right now.
Spin again, and
That
then
is-
even have the pepper
That is
afterwards.
overpowering. Ugh.
I mean, why? What chemists are coming up with this? Look, I'll spin. Wait.
rotten egg. Ugh.
All right, this time you've got
I mean, I'm sweating.
Tutti Frutti or Stinky Socks.
Please be
I
Tutti
don't even feel like
Frutti.
I'm gonna find it. Which one is that? When you get into the speckled, it's a
That's pretty colorful.
no.
You're kind of blind, so let me help you out here.
I have my glasses on.
There you go.
Like, is this Tutti Frutti or is it the candy one? Yours doesn't have. These are different. Yours has some pink.
No, that was it, girl.
No, look these.
Okay, fine. Please be Tutti Frutti.
I must have had the
Oh,
butter.
please hurry, because I gotta get this rotten egg out of my mouth.
The socks ain't really gonna remove it.
Well, I think it might be better. Rotten egg, this is vile. All right, here we go. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Tutti Frutti.
Me too. I think. I mean, it's not bad.
No, if it was Stinky Socks, you.
No. I mean, I guess that's Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti also does not taste good. It's like toothpaste, like little kid toothpaste.
Yeah.
Which
I guess
don't like.
which might be Tutti Frutti.
Good.
But that is so good right now. Oh.
I'm not gonna wait for you to get the fish one.
No. I might gag. I mean, that was bringing up stuff. Plus we had shrimp tonight.
There ain't nothing you want to bring up tonight.
All right, go ahead. Your turn.
I've spun every time.
No, I was supposed to say. I thought I did.
No, I spun. Toasted marshmallow or stink bug. So look for brown with spots.
All right, here we go. Toasted marshmallow or stink bug. Dink it.
No.
I don't like my paper. Yeah, 7. All right, and sink it. Oh, what? Ugh. It felt like crunching on a stink bug.
The gum started coming out of my nose. Don't get that. I've never got a bad one. What happened? Literally, my nose is burning because Diet Coke went into my nose.
Like that rotten egg, it took a couple bites to kind of release the flavor. That one was instant. It was like you crunched into a stink bug.
I can't get it out.
Rotten egg was still worse. Let me just tell you. Ugh.
I'm never gonna recover from this.
I mean, it's so gross. I don't know how they do it. I mean, this is candy.
I feel like
they have
this.
defiled candy.
I can't get out. Don't we have anything else to eat?
Nope,
These got that
we're
French
going.
bread.
Let's go. Let's go.
I want some French bread.
Oh wait, I already did that one.
Okay.
Peach or barf? Yeesh. Yeesh.
My nose is still burning.
I think this is it.
That's peach. Ugh.
This is it.
Oh, I can smell it.
That's it.
Banana.
These look different. I think that's strawberry banana right there.
Mm-mm.
That's so. It's tough to tell.
Those are not the same because one is opaque.
I know. That's why I'm having trouble.
Peach or barf? Wait, what's your other one? So strawberry banana is cloudy. Peach is clear.
She's a foodie. All right, here we
No,
go.
I just pay more attention because I really hate buttered popcorn.
Okay, so peach or barf? Oh. Here we
Now
go.
we're gonna go to bed after this and try to sleep through the night with nightmares because you know crazy food makes you have nightmares.
Now we know.
Hot dogs
Sorry.
make me have nightmares.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. But. Do you lightweight? I don't know if y'all are grossing out at home, and I'm so sorry for doing this to y'all week after week, making you watch me and whoever else is on with me do disgusting things. But that's okay. That hit me again. Whew, that was rough. Oh my goodness.
I can smell it from over here.
I think they just put like,
Give me these. I'm gonna throw this away. Keep.
I don't know what they put in these things that taste so foul, but I mean, maybe they just took, like they just got a syringe and just pulled fluids from a rotting carcass off the street and just injected these straight into it. Because I mean, that's what it tastes like. That's what it smells like right now.
I mean, the Coke didn't even help it because I knew LaCroix wasn't gonna do nothing for me. I had to eat the rest of this loaf of French bread.
All right. All right. I don't know who's spun last. I'll spin again. Birthday cake or dirty dishwasher?
This can't be as bad.
Well, these are kind of whitish.
I really don't want to throw up barbecue shrimp. It's too spicy.
Here's the deal, though. There's a ton of these white ones.
What are the white ones?
Spoiled milk or coconut.
Mm.
I think this is birthday. Well, that's one of those.
Yeah, it's a birthday cake.
There's another one.
Like my will to live is going out.
We gotta hurry up and get
Here's
through
what
this.
I wonder though. I don't think they're the same thing.
They are.
One's got more speckles than the other. One's not shaped right.
Well, I'll take the.
You take the funky shape, but in case it's not right.
I hope this is the good one. That'll be awesome. All right, on the count of 3. 1,
I can't
2,
anymore.
3. Birthday cake. Yes!
What
You could have had birthday cake.
this is payback for Christmas.
Oh no, I've already suffered a lot today with this. This is. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I like it. It's gonna taste good again.
Juicy pear or booger?
Oh, I can deal with the booger one. Just don't give me.
You can have both of them then.
Wait. But
Yeah.
see, they don't look right.
They do look a little different.
This is what juicy pear always looks like. This one's teeny tiny and a completely different color.
According to your logic last time.
Look at them. These two look the same. No, that one's really nasty looking. Hold on. We're about to do some examining. They don't. None of them are the same. It's like these are all the reject ones. Like they didn't intend for that to be stinky fish.
I don't know. My birthday cake was pretty good. All right, you ready?
Which one?
1, 2,
You
3.
know it's gonna be bad. What is this?
Booger or pear?
I don't even like.
I got pear.
I can't even get a net
Come
tongue
on,
yet.
come on. Chew.
That ain't pear.
You didn't get it in.
I got it on the tip of my tongue. That's enough. I can't keep chewing this. I'm gonna die.
That tasted just like I bit into a pear. Like even like when you bite into it and like all the juices kind of explode.
It's like a tongue eraser.
That was a lot
So
of pear taste.
that
I'm
could
doing
go.
so good right now. I feel wonderful. All right, let's just go to one of these. Okay. Oh my goodness. Canned dog food or chocolate
Nope,
pudding?
I can't do it. I'm done.
You done?
I'm done.
Can you do one more?
No.
Okay. No. Oh wait, we can't end without ending. Okay. Which one would you do? Dead fish?
No.
Canned dog food?
No.
Spoiled milk?
No.
Toothpaste?
No. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Give me toothpaste. I would happily take the toothpaste flavor
Okay.
over anything else right now.
All right, guys, we're gonna save this because I do want to see you guys suffer. If you think we're being sissies, I promise you we're not.
My 70-year-old father, who has smoked for the majority of his life and is to the point where he has lung cancer now, y'all.
Oh, guys.
He can't taste anything. He tasted the dead fish one, and that might be the most entertainment we had out of Christmas.
Pray for her, Father. All right. Night Hater. You ready?
Yeah,
1, 2, 3.
I got real candy.
I'm toothpaste.
I mean, I feel like toothpaste would be a step up from what we've been doing.
I don't know why I need it because it's cleansing
It's
my
really
mouth.
getting the other junk out.
Because I was about to go brush my teeth anyway. No, I don't have to. Tastes like toothpaste.
But I mean, this really works.
My towel is all clean. You
Mine
have
is-
to use it.
No, it's not. This works well as a tongue eraser.
That's what you get for overanalyzing things.
Ugh, it worked at Christmas.
Yeah, it worked today.
Harrison did get the toothpaste one at Christmas and couldn't tell that it wasn't the right
It's like-
flavor.
This is so weird, jelly bean. Alright, guys. Are you not entertained? I don't know. Gladiator.
Huh?
That's a gladiator quote. Are you not entertained?
No idea. I need. It's at past my. Look, no. It's 9:15. You know I stop operating at 7:30.
Well, arrivederci.
Hopefully we're camping.
Hopefully I pushed record.
Bible says, my king is the king of the Jews. He's the king of Israel. He's the king of righteousness. He's the king of the ages. He's the king of heaven. He's the king of glory. He's the king of kings. And he's the Lord of lords. That's my king. I wonder, do you know him? My king is a sovereign king. No means of measure can define his limitless love. He's enduringly strong. He's entirely sincere. He's eternally steadfast. He's immortally graceful. He's imperially powerful. He's impartially merciful. Do you know him? He's the greatest phenomenon that has ever crossed the horizon of this world. He's God's Son. He's a sinner's Savior. He's the centerpiece of civilization. He's unparalleled. He's unprecedented. He is the loftiest idea in literature. He's the highest personality in philosophy. He's the fundamental doctrine of true theology. He's the only one qualified to be an all-sufficient Savior. I wonder if you know him today. He supplies strength for the weak. He's available for the tempted and the tried. He sympathizes and he saves. He strengthens and sustains. He guards and he guides. He heals the sick. He cleanses the lepers. He forgives sinners. He discharges debtors. He delivers the captive. He defends the feeble. He blesses the young. He serves the unfortunate. He regards the aged. He rewards the diligent. And he beautifies the meek. I wonder if you know him. He's the key to knowledge. He's the wellspring of wisdom. He's the doorway of deliverance. He's the pathway of peace. He's the roadway of righteousness. He's the highway of holiness. He's the gateway of glory. Do you know him? Well, his light is matchless. His goodness is limitless. His mercy is everlasting. His love never changes. His word is enough. His grace is sufficient. His reign is righteous. And his yoke is easy. And his burden is light. I wish I could describe him to you. He's indescribable. He's incomprehensible. He's invincible. He's irresistible. Well, you can't get him out of your mind. You can't get him off of your hand. You can't outlive him, and you can't live without him. Well, the Pharisees couldn't stand him, but they found out they couldn't stop him. Pilate couldn't find any fault in him. Herod couldn't kill him. Death couldn't handle him. And the grave